Welcome students to this course, Organization Behavior, and it's brought to you by Professor Phillemon Landy Tubei. We are going to look at 11 topics in this course for master's program, which is a common course for a combination of various faculties. So we are going, topic 1 will be introduction to organizations and the course. Topic 2 will be groups and teams in organizations. Topic 3 will be organizing and managing work, communication and feedback. Topic 4 will be individual differences. Topic 5 will be learning in organizations, that is theory and practice. Then topic 6 will be culture and organization. Topic 7 will be emotions in organizations. Topic 8 will be about leadership. Topic 9 will be organizational change, or what we call organizing change. Topic 10 will be politics and conflict in organizations. Then the last topic will be about motivation in organizations. So topic 1, introduction to course and the organization. So in this course, I'm going to examine you in the following way. My assessment will be 2 assignments. The first assignment will be 20 marks. Second assignment will be 20 marks. And the final exam will be 60 marks. And that will give you 100%. So let us start. What is an organization? We are being told that there are a number of definitions that you can come across, dictionary definitions, business definitions, psychological definitions, economics definitions, and even we have communication scholars who have defined what an organization is. So from dictionary, we can get the following definitions. Is the act of organizing, yeah, or state of being organized, or it's just an organized structure, a whole that is organized. Then it can be a business or administrative concern, united and constructed for a particular end, meaning a particular goal. Then another definition would be and is a body of administrative officials, as of a political party, a government department, etc. And also an organization is an order, is a system. So we are looking at an organization as a system, yes, or a method of organization. Now, when we define organization from business point of view, we define organization as a system of consciously coordinated activities of 2 or more persons, consciously, not unconsciously. Then another definition is the accomplishment of an objective requires collective efforts. Men set up an organization designed to coordinate the activities. So we are seeing organization as a noun, organization as a verb. And when we look at organization as a verb, then it becomes one of the principles of project management. And we are seeing coordination, which is also to do with organization. Now, from business point of view, it's a social unit of people, systematically structured and managed. A social unit of people that is systematically structured and managed. Then also we are saying that all organizations have a management structure that will determine the relationship between functions, function A, function B, function C, and also positions related to those functions, and subdivides and delegates roles to every function, roles to every position. Yes. Then responsibilities that are under every position and even authority. So organizations are open systems. So we are saying an organization is an open system which receives and also takes out. Why? Because it is this organization, affect the external environment, and it is also affected by external environment. So it goes beyond boundaries. So we are saying it's a body of individuals working under a defined system of rules, assignments, procedures, and relationships designed to achieve identifiable objectives and goals. Now, how do we define organizational behavior? Organizational behavior is a social unit within which people have achieved somewhat stable relationships. Meaning, we get to an organization, there is the forming, there is the introduction, the orientation, there is the storming, and we normalize. Yeah. So we are saying an organization is a complex system, which includes, number one, management, to interrelate and integrate through appropriate linking processes all the elements of the system in a manner designed to achieve the organizational objectives. Number two, sufficient number of people so that constant face-to-face interaction is achieved. Now, how do economics define organization? It's an integrated aggregation of the persons, yes, who undertake or manage risk, yes, who coordinate, there is administration, there is routine supervision that take place in this particular arrangement. Then there is industrial or organizational psychology definitions. Yeah, how have they defined an organization? They say an organization is work that consists of patterned human behavior, and the equipment consists of the human beings. So an organization has a consistent behavior, pattern of behavior. Then we are saying lively sets of interrelated systems. What are we saying here? We are saying that in an organization, yes, it is a system, as we have said. Yes, it is a system, but it is a system that has subsystems, smaller systems inside that integrate, that are alive, yeah, that integrate to give a final conclusive system. Now, how do we define organization from communication definitions? It's a social collectives in which people develop ritualized patterns of interactions in an attempt to coordinate their activities and efforts in the ongoing accomplishment of personal and group goals. So there is communication that takes place in this arrangement of the organization, meaning these include 5 critical features. So we are saying, what is it that we are supposed to see for us to say this is an organization, a formal organization? We have to see existence of a social collectivity, people. We have to see organizational and individual goals. The organizational goals, the individual goals, they are harmonized to make sure the organization achieves its business goals, and also individuals in this organization will have their personal and individual goals also achieved by the organization meeting them. We are saying it is also an organized collection of individuals working interdependently within a relatively structured, organized, open system to achieve common goals. So interdependently, meaning they are relating to each other, they are benefiting from each other, they are relying from each other, but in a structured way and organized, open system to achieve common goals. And you see, when they are in the organization brings about the common goal that is to be achieved. Yeah. So It is an aggregate of persons, yeah, arranged in predetermined patterns of relationship in order to accomplish stated objectives. For example, there is the human resource department, procurement department, sales and marketing department, production department. You see, there are predetermined patterns. In those patterns, they relate in a way. And we have people in each of those departments that whatever they do brings about the aspect of coordination. We are saying that when we talk about how organizations are structured, we are talking primarily about how they function in terms of what happens, both within an organization and how an organization functions within the external environment. So what are we saying here? We are saying that yes, we are saying that we are actually saying something important here, that there is the aspect of internal interaction and external interaction. So we look at a structure in terms of 4 basic processes: external environment, input, throughput, and output. So what are we saying? Let us start with the external environment. We are saying that this consists of all vendors, competitors, customers, and other stakeholders who can have an impact on the organization itself. That is what comes from external environment that impacts on the organization as much as the organization impacts on the external environment. Number 2, so we're saying it has open boundaries so that we get what is coming from external environment and the external environment get what is coming from the organization. And therefore, there is free flow of information. And we are saying that this will enable the organization to adapt to changes that occur within the environment. Yes. So organizations with closed boundaries, they lack a lot because they have insulated itself from information coming from outside, and also external environment cannot get the information coming from it. Therefore, such an organization cannot learn. Let us move to input. Every organization will take in resources from external environment to be able to accomplish its goals. And in terms of human resources, raw materials, and many, many other resources that come in from external environment, and they constitute input for the organization. And this can be people, workers, can be information, which is data, yes, which is coming from external environment. So there are 2 types of external environment scanning processes, meaning you have to study the environment, you have to scan the environment in order to get the information you need. So the first one is proactive scanning. Proactive scanning is where you carry out a study about environment to understand what you want to know to be able to use it to solve a given problem. That's being proactive. But when it comes to reactive scanning, this is where you wait. When a problem has come up or a crisis has come up, is when you make sense out of it. Now you start looking for information that will help you to solve that problem. There is another thing that is pertinent to organization, throughput. This is what an organization does with the inputs within the confines of the organization itself. Because when an organization gets inputs from the external environment, it processes all those resources, and processing is what we are now calling here throughput. Then there is hierarchy in the organization, and this hierarchy is categorized from the fact that individuals, departments are ranked over other individuals and departments based on skills, centrality, and status, meaning like the manager, the executive director, in terms of skills, is above all others, so he's placed above. That's hierarchy. Hierarchy is when you move from low to higher in an organization arrangement, like top management level, middle management level, low management level, and workers. This will give us the hierarchy, and therefore to be show even the structure of the organization. So what are you supposed to do when you are doing environmental scanning? First, organization can place people, departments over other because of specific skills. Yes, I've said that. Then second, ranked over others because of their centrality to the organization's goals. And lastly, status of the individual, the self-esteem, privileges in the organization. Now, let us move to output. After throughput, we move to output. This is the final aspect. You see, when resources come in, raw materials are processed by the organizations, and what we get finally is the output. So let us move to organizational goals. Every organization has different goals. Like number one, output goals. So an organization has an output goal, what it wants to achieve, what it wants to produce. And therefore, we are saying that this is reflected in immediately or in the future in some product, service, skill, or orientation. Then an organization will have adaptive goals, meaning it will have goals that it wants to achieve in terms of adapting to the environment, because external environment is competitive. So every organization will have goals, adaptive goals, to be able to adapt to the environment, to be able to exist. Then, number three, management goals. Management goals, which involves three types of decision, meaning how will we manage all this? Then how to handle conflicts in the organizations, because every organization that has departments, we can have departmental, interdepartment conflict, or people, workers among themselves, or workers vis-a-vis the management conflict. So every organization must set management goals. So definition of organization goals is to decide on the formal structure of an organization and who will exist at various ranks of the hierarchy. Second, we are saying that in as far as managerial goals are concerned, they focus on how conflicts within the organization will be handled. And lastly, we are just saying that management goals determine the overarching, very key direction of the organization itself. Number four, motivation. When we come to motivation goals, every organization must set motivational goals for its employees. So they are set out to ensure that all employees are satisfied and remain loyal to the organization. Firstly, satisfied employees will work more productively. Then, ensuring that employees are motivated will help in ensuring that employees remain loyal to the organization. Then there is positional goals that every organization is supposed to set. Yes, these position goals attempt to position an organization within the environment in a competitive environment, because you are not the only organization that is in business. You are competing for the market, you are competing in the industry. So you have to come up with what we call positional goals that will enable you to position yourself in the market, to position yourself in the industry. The two common ways to position oneself within a specific market. Number one, you can produce high volumes at low price. Why? Because you reduce the cost per unit. Or you can decide to produce less, but at a higher price. Then we are saying that when we move to organizational people, it means that organization involves people. That is what we have to know. And the common themes related to people that you are supposed to know is interdependency. They depend on each other. Yes, they interact. Then there is leadership, meaning there are those who are to be led, the followers, and we must have a leader. So let us look at interdependence. This is where we see mutual dependence on depending on one another. So depend upon one another to achieve organizational goals. Hello? Yes, I'm fine. Yes, yes. No. That is what you told me, there's no need. So I recorded myself, then I uploaded. Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes, yes. I will do that, Walal. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, students. I was responding to administrative issue from my boss. Yes. So sorry. Let us go on. Okay. So let us move. Number two, systemization versus autonomy. So, Olalo, let me come back here. Let me come back here. In that dependency, I've explained that. Then let us go to interaction. So I'm saying that in an organization, there is interaction. Then number three, in an organization, there is controlling of behavior, and therefore there is leadership. So let us come to organization dialectical tension, meaning in an organization, there might be conflict. So how do we handle conflict? So number one, we look at minimize costs versus maximize salary benefits. So organizations are always trying to keep their overhead costs low, while workers try to maximize what they earn. Workers, they want to earn more, but the organization is trying to do what? To reduce their costs. Then there is systemization versus autonomy. So we are saying organizations like stability. So they prefer workers who learn how to do a specific task and then systemize that task in the most efficient manner. Number three, streamline versus stability. So we are saying that the ability to streamline organization in an attempt to maximize profit. So an organization to be stable, it must streamline everything and make sure it is maximizing on profits. Agreement and dissent. Every organization will prefer for workers to blindly follow and to do what organization leaders dictate. That's what every organization will expect. Number five, conventionality and innovation. Always, we should not do things the same way. We are supposed to do things in a new way and innovative way because the environment, external environment is changing, things are becoming technological, and therefore we are supposed also to change in the same manner. Number six, transparency and privacy. Transparency and privacy. So Today, organizations are increasingly wanting to know what workers are doing in the workplace. Yeah. Then number 7, organization versus self-focused. So we are saying organizations innately want workers to be focused on their jobs and improving their productivity. Number 8, performance and change. When we are looking at this, we are saying organizations strive to maintain knowledge and thus keep people who are hard workers for the long haul. Then number 9, we are saying organizational and individual rights. So we have organizational rights and individual rights. So we are saying that ultimately when it comes to organizations, the focus is on the organizations and its rights and less on the individual's rights. That's what should be understood. Then number 10, work life and social life. So organizations believe that workers should be focused purely on their work life and not their social life. Let us now look at leadership. This term is associated with people in organizations. Yes. Any organization must have an individual or clearly discernible group that guides the organization towards accomplishing its goals. Yes. So we must have followership because we have leadership. So must have strong leadership and followers who are willing to follow that leader. Therefore, this becomes a good organization. So let us look at different types of organizations. We have number 1, mutual benefit association. This is where people come together to benefit from each other, and therefore it is focused on providing for its membership. Some examples are political parties. You join a political party because you believe in its ideology and you believe that you benefit from that political party. We have business concerns. These are organizations focused on doing well for the organization itself, meaning they are just focused on business. And therefore, they go for efficiency, meaning the achievement of maximum gain at minimum cost. So what are we saying? We are saying efficiency is where we are looking at an aspect where you are putting in less, but you are gaining more. And that is what a business organization is concerned with, because that will bring about profit. Service organizations. These ones is where one whose prime beneficiary is the part of the public in direct contact with the organization. Look at government. It's an organization and it's there to provide services. Yeah. Then there is Commonwealth organizations. So Commonwealth is just to do with the public at large, yeah, producing for the public and doing whatever they do for the public. And that brings us to the end of our topic 1. And now I will give you 10 minutes. You go to pray, and when you come back, we can continue from topic 2. So for a short while, I allow you to go and pray, then you come back. Welcome to topic 2, where we are going to look at groups and teams in organization. So we want to look at the nature of groups and teams. So what is a group? A group is 2 or more people who interact with one another, such that each person influences another person, and the same person is influenced by by the other. What about a team? A team, we are talking about interdependent group of at least 2 or more people who share a common goal and accountability for outcomes. That's a team. So let us look at categorization of groups by degrees of formalization. So we can have a formal group which is established by the organization. Like a company will have different departments. These departments have been started by the company itself. But in formal groups, you will find workers, they have formed a merry-go-round group where they help each other and many, many other things. Yeah, or you find there is the female group, there is the male group in the company. Those are informal groups because they are started or formed by the workers or employees themselves. Okay, having said that, let us move forward. So there are 4-stage development process of groups. Number 1, mutual acceptance. That's just forming a group. Number 2, communication and decision making, storming, where there is resistance, there is conflict. Then number 3, motivation and productive. This is normalization, that's norming. Then there is control and organization performing. Now here, you do what you came together to do. Then what is a group? There is interactivity, there is mutual goal. So we are saying, basically, groups are building blocks of an organization. So there are 2 basic attributes, meaning characteristics that define a group. There is interaction, meaning the people in that group, they are interacting. And when they are interacting, what is happening? They are affecting others and they are also being affected. So we are saying that members of a group perceive that there is potential for mutual goal accomplishment. That is, group members perceive that by belonging to the group, they will be able to accomplish certain goals or meet certain needs. Now, so types of work groups. There is number 1, formal work groups. Yeah, they are there just to achieve the goals. Number 2, informal work groups. They achieve individual and collective goals. Then there's number 3, a command group. This is a collection of subordinates who report to the same supervisor. Then a task force is a very special collection of people who come together to accomplish a specific goal. For example, when there is corruption in a given company or in a government department, we can have a task force to collect data about what happened, then report to a given person. Number 5, a team is a formal work group in which there is high level of interaction among group members who work intensely together to achieve a common group goal. So there are 5-stage model of group development. We've already looked at them before, like forming, where group members try to get to know each other and establish a common understanding. Yeah, so there is structure in this stage to clarify group goals and determine appropriate behavior within the group. Then after that stage of group development, we come to storming. So this is considerable conflict, where people are resisting being controlled by the group and disagree about who should lead the group and how much power the leader should have. So there is still pull and push. Then number 3, norming. This is where now group members start to feel like they belong to the group. They are now normalizing. So there is feelings of friendship. Number 4, performing. They are now ready to tackle group tasks and work towards achieving group goals. And number 5, adjourning, meaning closing, having accomplished what brought you together. What do? You adjourn, you close. So this is just a summary of what I've shown up there, showing exactly what happens at each development stage. So work groups characteristics. When we are talking about work groups, we can look at a work group in terms of size, small or big. Yes. Then we can also look at a group as what really is composed of that group. Like the characteristics of a group, we can have homogeneous or heterogeneous groups. Homogeneous group is a group that has people that are uniform, meaning they have the same interest. Heterogeneous group is a group that has people with different, diversified interests. Then we can also look at group function as a characteristic of a group. Meaning, what is this group meant to perform or to do? Then number 4, social facilitation for maybe social welfare and what have you. Then group efficacy, meaning shared belief, group members. Here, where you share something like belief, religious belief, economic belief, political beliefs, and what have you. So, how large should a group be? That's a question. But we are looking at benefits of a small group. There is regular interaction, meaning when you are 2 or 3, you interact more. The social interaction, social metric is very high. Then there is easy of sharing information. Also, the recognition of individual contributions is clearly seen and stated and can be actually seen. So there is also strong identification with group. Then there is higher group satisfaction. What about large groups? Benefits. There is more resources, division of labor, and what have you. So in summary, what are we saying? We're saying when groups are small, members are more likely to know one another and interact regularly. It is easy for them to share information, recognize individual contribution, and identify with the groups. There is strong identification, there is increased motivation, there is commitment, and there is satisfaction in a small group. Whereas when it comes to large groups, there is little personal contact. Therefore, there is lower level of interaction, and it makes even sharing information difficult, though there is greater resources. Social loafing. What do we mean by social loafing in a group? This is the tendency for an individual to exert less effort just because you are in a group than when you are working alone. Why? Because some people in a group, they feel if things go wrong, the whole group will be blamed. And therefore they just work in a sluggish way. So that sluggishness is what we call social loafing. But when you are working alone, you know when things go wrong, it is you who will be punished. And when things go good, it's you who will be rewarded. So, proposed causes of social loafing. Number 1, when there is lack of connection between inputs and outcomes, then perception that individual efforts are unnecessary or are important, then both causes are linked with group size. Then from this social loafing comes sucker effect. Meaning, if you are working hard and you are in a group and there are people who are not working hard, you undergo this sucker effect. Why? It is a condition in which some group members, not wishing to be considered suckers, reduce their own efforts when they see social loafing by other group members. So, how can we reduce social loafing? Make individual contribution identifiable. That's number one. Number two, make individual contributions visible. That's identifiable. Then, evaluation system in which everyone's individuals' contributions are noted. Then, smaller rather than large teams. Monitor everything. Foster task cohesiveness. Bring about team-level rewards to increase pressure. Then teamwork training to develop a sense of cohesiveness. Yes. Then you can also select a team leader who will supervise on your behalf. Yes. Now let us look at group composition. Benefits of homogeneous groups, meaning groups that have members who have uniform interests. There is collegiality amongst group members. Information sharing is there, low levels of conflict, and few coordination problems because they are uniform. Benefits of heterogeneous groups, diversity of views represented. Yes, you benefit from different views. There is high performance. There is variety of resources. So, group composition refers to the characteristics of members of a group. So, members of a homogeneous group have many characteristics in common, while in a heterogeneous groups, there is diversity. Similarity is less. Now, group function, because you see, groups are created in an organization to perform something. They communicate sense of meaning, yes, to the managers and the other workers. Then there is advice to managers. You see, groups will give advice to their leaders. There is task interdependence. So we see that tasks for different groups depend on each other in a way. Types of task interdependence. There is number one, pooled task interdependence, where each member of a group makes separate and independent contributions to group performance. Then there is sequential task interdependence, which requires specific behaviors to be performed by group members in a predetermined order, in a sequence. Then there is reciprocal task interdependence. That is where the activities of all worker groups members are fully dependent on one another so that each member's performance influences the performance of each other member of the group. Yes. Then signs of cohesiveness, meaning being together. When you look at a group, how can you tell that this group has high or is cohesive? And we have low cohesiveness, moderate cohesiveness, and very high cohesiveness. So a group that has low cohesiveness, information flows slowly within the group. Then the one that has moderate cohesiveness, the information flows moderately. And that which has very high cohesiveness, I'm telling you, the information moves faster and efficiently. There are factors contributing to group effectiveness. Now, what do we mean by effectiveness? Effectiveness is doing exactly what you are supposed to do. Yes, that's being effective. So we look at group efficacy, group composition, ability to work well together, coordination of efforts, resources, and share. I'm just mentioning here, but let us look at them one after the other. Group efficacy means shared belief of group members. So group members consider the factors affecting group effectiveness when developing efficacy. So, types of social facilitation effects. You look at audience effects. You look at coaction effects. So, social facilitation is the effects that the physical presence of others has on an individual performance. So, advantages of rules that ensure that members perform desired behaviors. So we must have rules, otherwise it is difficult to control people in a working place or in a group. So what do? Facilitate control of behavior, facilitate evaluation of individual performance, provide information to newcomers. Rules are often called standard operating procedures. Make sure you provide them. So why do groups members conform to norms? Conform is to adhere, is to abide. Norms are what you are supposed to do. Why? For compliance, for identification, for internalization, and etc. So how can groups respond to deviants? Deviants are group members who don't want to conform to the norms of the group. Number one, attempt to change their behavior. Number one, if you can't expel them or change the behavior, change the norm. Yes, so deviance occurs when a member of a group violates a group norm. Yes, so groups can respond in different ways. Conformity is good when it helps a group control and influence behavior. So a group of employees might develop norms or rules. Socialization and role orientation. So it comes in role orientations, institutionalized and individualized. So what do we mean by this? We are saying that socialization is a process by which newcomers learn the roles, rules, and norms of a group. So, and when we talk about role orientation, is the characteristic way in which members of a group respond to various situations. And so there is 6 pairs of contrasting socialization tactics that influence newcomers' learning and role orientation in any organization. So we come to the end of our lesson. If you have a question, you can write it in the Google class and I will be able to respond to your questions or your concerns or your suggestions that will help us move forward. Otherwise, thank you very much for attending this lecture.